Let's talk about using online calculators to determine your monthly payments on a loan. Let's try to scooch this a little bit. Yeah. And as a bonus, when we use these calculators, we can print what we call an amortization schedule. And the amortization schedule will show you what part of your payment goes towards principal, what part goes towards interest. And so I usually go to bankrate.com, and let me show you what that looks like when you go there. So bankrate.com, you'll see a front page looking like this. You want to go to a calculator. Come on, calculators. And we're going to go to auto loan, if it'll allow me. Okay, that's not what I want. Let me back it on down. Pull you down. All right, I want some calculators. There we go. And I'm going to go to the auto calculator. And we're going to look at the auto loan calculator. And it does include that amortization schedule. So here is what this looks like. You've got to put in some particulars and then it'll just spit out the payment. So let's go back to our sheet. Okay, here we are. So let's consider that previous problem of $7,500 at 9% and we got a monthly payment of $95.01. So when I get to the auto loan calculator, I would type in $7,500 for the loan amount, my principal. I would type in the number 10 for 10 years. I would type in the number 9 for my APR, and I would hit calculate. When I do that, it gives me my monthly payment. It doesn't matter if it's an auto or a student loan. It just makes, no difference. It just makes that payment. And that's the number we got earlier when we were doing this using the formula. We got a 95.01 payment. Now one thing I can do is I can create this amortization table. Oh, I thought I was actually on the sheet. So let's see, once I have those numbers in, let's put in the 7,500. And let's put in, I forgot how many years. What was it? 10 years. And the interest rate on that was 9. And if we calculate, you'll see that I get the same thing that I have on the note sheet. There we go. Well, it is running incredibly slow. Okay, there it is. So 95.01, like we saw on the note sheet. And to create the amortization table, I would come down from that screen and click Show or Recalculate the amortization table. Hopefully it won't be as slow as it was a second ago. Okay, it's done loading, so let's look at the amortization schedule. Nope, it did not load. Now let's see. There it is. Okay, so it will show you for every payment that you make on this loan, payment of $95.01, it'll show you how much of your payment is principal, how much of your payment is interest, and it actually has a running total of how much interest you'll pay on that loan. It's kind of interesting to know. And it'll tell you what your balance is, and that balance is your principal balance. Now next month, when the interest is calculated, it's calculated off of this new principal balance, just like we did in the note sheet. Notice the amount of principal as the months go by. is increasing, so you're paying more on your principal, and the amount of interest is steadily decreasing, because as time goes on, you'll be paying less interest as part of your payment. So there's the amortization table, and these numbers look familiar. The work we did earlier, we calculated how much of that 9501 was principal and how much of that 9501 would be interest. We did that, I think, for 3 months. So these numbers here are the numbers that we found earlier. But it's just incredibly convenient to use an online calculator. Okay, so here's some situations. We've got some car loan offerings. 3-year at 8%, 4-year at 9%, 5-year at 10%. The one that'll pay the less total interest is the one that has the shortest term, 3-year, and the one that has the lowest APR, right there. So the first offer should give me less total interest. But we're going to look at it and see there's a price to pay for a short term, for the shorter term. So here we go. $6,000 car loan for a used car. The 3 choices above are offered by your bank, and we want to calculate the monthly payments and the total interest over the loan term with each option. So option A, we've got a 3-year loan at 8%. I'm going to go to the calculator and figure that out. So 3 years at 8%. So let's come up here and type in the loan terms. So we've got $6,000 for 3 years at 8%, and let's calculate. So the payment for 3 years every month would be $188.02. So the payment would be $188.02 per month. Let's check out the 4-year at 9%. So we're going to change that to 4, change that to 9, and let's calculate. So the 4-year at 9% is $149.31. So let's go there. $149.31. So it's $149 per month. And now let's do the same thing for the 5-year. So we'll change this to 5. We will change this to 10% interest. And what we'll do is we will calculate that payment. So for the 5-year loan term at 10%, the monthly payment is $127.48 per month. Okay, so we've got each monthly payment. Now we want to figure out the total interest over the loan term. Okay, so first I need to figure out how much am I going to pay over the lifetime of this loan for, in this case, 3 years. So I multiply with $188.02 times 12 times 3 to tell me the total amount I would pay for that $6,000 loan. Same thing here, $149.31 times 12 times 4, and here $127.48 times 12 times 5 years. And remember what this is giving us. This is giving us the total amount that we will pay for the lifetime of the loan. So find those values. All right, so we've got the monthly payments times 12 times 3 years for the first case. So over the lifetime of that loan, we'll pay $6,768.72. So what part of that is interest? All we have to do is subtract those from 6,000 or subtract 6,000 from those. When we do, that will tell us the exact amount of interest. So at the end, just subtract 6,000. So the amount of interest on this loan is $768.72. If I subtract the principal amount of 6,000 for the second situation, I end up paying $1,166.88 in interest. And if I subtract 6,000 from the lifetime payment on that loan, I end up with paying an interest amount of $1,648.80. So you can see the loan term that has the lowest number of years and the lowest interest rate is your best situation because you pay less interest overall. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. So here we see less interest. Here we see the most interest. Now you have to consider your budget. What can you afford a month? Maybe you can't afford $188.02 a month, so you may have to go with the 4-year or the 5-year term. But if you go with any of those other two terms, you can do something that we call make extra principal payments, and you can take that interest and cut it way down. Okay, let's take a look at credit cards. These type of loans differ from installment loans in that you're not required to pay off your balance in any set time period. You're only required to make the minimum monthly payment that covers all the interest and very little principal. So if you wish to pay off your credit card in a particular amount of time, you should use a loan payment formula to calculate the necessary payments. As a rule of thumb, you should always pay more than the minimum. Pay more than the minimum payment. On credit card loans. Because credit cards have high interest rates, and those high interest rates makes it really easy to get into financial trouble. It's like compound interest working in reverse here. So let's check out a credit card example. Okay, let's use the formula, the payment formula, to find out what kind of payment would it take to pay off this credit. Something just happened to the video, so let me start over. I've identified the variables. The $18,000 is the principal. We have an APR of 21. The number of years is 4. And we want to figure out how much I would need to pay each month. So I need to use that payment formula. And in that case, N is going to be 12. Now we have to assume we don't make any further credit card purchases. We basically shred that one and say I just need to pay it off. So write the formula, sprinkle it in, and let's practice. So writing the formula down exactly as it was given on the earlier in the sheet. Now sprinkling in the variables we defined or described, identified. Let's go ahead and make some calculations. So you need to use your calculator. Perform using the order of operations. Which items go first, second, third. Like here's a set of parentheses. I need to do that guy. Here's another set of parentheses. Find that number. And here's another set of parentheses. So find all those numbers and then just start whittling away at it. I will put that in that. You take some time to do that. I'll give you the answer, but pause it first. Okay, so we've sprinkled in the numbers. We've targeted what values we would want to find first. Performing this operation using the order of operations, you should come up with 315 on the top and 0.56514, and that goes on forever. Remember, we don't round until the very end. And if we divide that out, we get $557.38. We would need to pay that per month over 4 years to wipe out that credit card debt. So these are really important skills to have and important things to know. I'll stop this one here and then we'll do a third video with the mortgages.